You've just won the lottery. What happens next? Hi, I'm John Strohmeyer with Strohmeyer Law, where we help our clients leave no unfinished business. While I am a lawyer, I am not your lawyer, so don't take the advice of some talking head on the internet. Remember to talk to your own advisor about your specific circumstance. Now, we talk about things like preparing for problems, avoiding the four horsemen of the apocalypse, avoidable costs, potential fights, loss of assets, delays, and frustration. But what happens if you fall into a big pile of money? We're talking about the lottery right now, but this could be any sort of unearned wealth that you just come into. Could be somebody leaves you a gift in their will and it's now yours, but we're thinking more about the lottery. Well, there are a lot of things to think about, and there's a lot of things that you can and should be doing if you've actually won a significant amount of money through the lottery. So let's start thinking through it. First, how do you actually claim this money? The claims process will end up differing state to state. And what you have to do and the hoops you have to jump through will again be determined by the laws of the state and the rules of the particular game that you have been playing. Some states will require that there be a public face for the winners. Why? Well, some people may say the lottery is rigged all the way and all the winners aren't real people. That's why the state wants to make sure that there's at least one real human out there to claim the prize. They want to say, look, Joe has actually won the lottery. Here he is claiming his gigantic check. Other states may not be as interested in perpetuating this or making sure that they've got a face out there on any particular claim. Regardless, before you want to make sure you've gone through and looked at what your options are if you're interested in protecting your privacy. If it becomes public that you've won the lottery, well, you can expect a lot of calls from people who are looking for the sort of help that you, somebody who's just won the lottery, can give to them. Now, that's going to be just one of your things that you need to think about. The other side of it is, well, what about those old relationships you've had? You don't want to start burning those bridges too quickly. Make sure that you've reached out and secured the prize before you've burned any bridges, told your job that you're not working there anymore, or anything else like that. You want to make sure that you've actually claimed the money. Another reason not to start burning bridges is, well, if you're interested in privacy, if you start telling everybody off because you don't need to work anywhere anymore, well, they may get a hint of exactly what has happened. So, in the interest of remaining quiet, remaining behind the scenes with your newfound money, don't go burning bridges ever so quickly. Once you've figured that out, you'll want to make sure that you know exactly what you want to do and how your family will behave. It's not going to be easy to keep everyone in line. And again, not telling people will be the easiest way to keep it a secret. But you've just won all this money. Can you share it with people? Yes, it is possible to share things with people. It's possible to spread that out if you're willing to do so. Now, how and when you do that will determine what the tax consequences are. Here, we're thinking about two different types of taxes. First, state and gift tax, because we're giving money away potentially, as well as federal income tax. Now, there is a mandatory withholding on lottery winnings, and so that's going to come out immediately. You'll have the option of, in most places, of picking either a lump sum or an annuity payment. The one that makes sense for you will be determined based on your own specific circumstances. So make sure you've looked at that with your advisors before signing on the dotted line to collect the prize. After you've figured out if you're going to take a lump sum or an annuity payment, then it comes to whether or not you'll be sharing with anyone else. It's possible for multiple people to share a ticket. However, there needs to be some plan in place before you've actually won. There is conflicting law. There's not a great set of circumstances on all of this. And so the best bet is if you're planning on sharing it with folks, you should have had a regular practice of doing it before you won this one. If you come in afterwards and say, no, we're sharing it now and we don't have any evidence that we've actually done this before, it may be harder for the IRS to actually respect that decision. Because if they don't, when you start giving things away, you'll be subject to the normal estate and gift tax rules on making gifts to others. For example, you'll have the annual exemption, where currently in 2024, you can give $18,000 per person away to any person you'd like to. Beyond that, you have the lifetime credit, currently valued at 13.61 million per person, going up to a little over 14 in 2026, and slated to come down to be about $7 or so million per person with inflation adjustments in 2026. Now, that's one way to get rid of it. But if you've won a large jackpot, it's possible that you may still have millions left after making those gifts. So, what happens after that? Well, you're going to want to have a good plan in place for what you're going to do. Sadly, there are lots of stories of people who've won the lottery and end up spending, losing it. It's all gone before they even know what had happened. And so having the protections in place to ensure that if you're not used to having that kind of money, it doesn't run all off on you before you've had a chance to protect yourself and those that you care about. So making sure that you've got this plan of what do you want to hold on to? What do you want to spend? Think through who and how you want to spread this wealth, if at all. If you're going to be making large charitable donations, how are you going to accomplish those? What charities do you want to build and benefit from your wealth? If you've got other people you want to take care of, what is it that they're going to need so that you can make sure that you're sharing it with them in a way that doesn't overburden the resources you have? Again, the last thing you want to have happen is to have those resources all be gone and you're left with nothing. So, beyond just your own plan, you're going to want to make sure that you've built a team with your own advisors, making sure that they know what your plan is so that they can help carry that out for you. Finally, that long term plan, making sure it's shared not only with your advisors, but with your family so that they understand what is there, what will be there with them, and what will be there for them. Because we want to be thinking about how do we avoid fights in the future. Having this large amount could create potential fights if people think that they got less than what they were entitled to. How can you deal with those potential problems now so that they don't become bigger issues when you can't or won't be able to settle them out later? Now, I know you've probably been thinking, well, what about the taxes? Well, I know the taxes are still a big issue, but a lot of it comes out as it's received. Of course, you'll have the mandatory income taxes withheld as you receive it, plus any state and local taxes that may be withheld as immediately upon payment. But going forward, you'll have this large amount that you've just received generating its own income tax. And it's possible that just sitting there and earning interest off of it will be more than enough for you to pay for the rest of your life. You're just living off that income. In that case, you'll be looking for new strategies of how to diversify based on what you're interested in to limit that income tax burden. Again, you'll be thinking also about how do you put things in place so that you're minimizing a future estate and gift tax burden. You may be making annual exclusion gifts going forward on a regular basis to spread that wealth every year, as well as making certain charitable gifts or certain tax motivated gifts to get things to the right place. Again, congratulations if you've just won the lottery. There are a lot of new situations, new issues, and new challenges you'll face as you look to protect that money, not only from future taxes, but from people looking to take it from you. Ultimately, there's going to be a lot for you to deal with. Remember to work with your own advisors to make sure you've got your plan in place to take care of your assets. Thanks for watching.